I can see the microphone there.
Yes, you can hear me now, right?
Yes, yes. Yes. How are you, Mohammed?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. Last week you weren't very well. Are you better now?
Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Yes, thanks.
Good, good. Yeah. All right, wonderful. Yazan said he might be a little bit late, and Farah didn't reply. So, you know, we changed it to this time because Farah it can only make it at this time, but she's not here. So it might be better if we move back to the normal time from next week. What do you think?
Yes, it's okay for me.
Yeah, because I think in, you know, that other time that we had, it didn't clash with people's day, with their days. But yeah, because, you know, we wanted to meet Farah and we did, and you can always kind of have a conversation with her later, you know, separately to this anyway, you know, because you're connected. So Mohammed, tell us what's happening for you now, please. What's happening since we last spoke?
So actually not for me, for all the people here in the south of Gaza Strip and the Middle areas, like more than 2 months almost until now, if I can say, the food is being more reduced, no more food, no more way for it to make bread in this area in the north, and it looks like it will be day after day, it will be more reduced of the food. For example, yesterday I went to the bakery to buy some bread, but I couldn't find any. The pumpkin is still on. In the south of, sorry, in the north of Gaza Strip, they are still bombing, and now they moved from Jabalia to another city. It's called Beit Lahia, as they are making people to go out by killing them or by arrest them or by bombing the area around them, so they will scare and then they will leave their homes. I'm scared that this will be like uh, for their plan as the planning right now, and they say that clearly that they are planning to stay in Gaza for more long time, not as an army. They will like build a settlement in Gaza Strip, in Jabalia, in Beit Lahia. So we are talking now about there is less chances for people to go back to their places even this war will finish. So it's be like it will be more complicated for the people for the war to end. A week ago, I heard that Netanyahu is also saying that the war itself will take like more than a year or year and a half to end. And but the problem, as I mentioned, that not even when the war finished, they will stay in Gaza as a like making settlements and then bring more people from their own people to Gaza to stay in Gaza. So it will be like a West Bank, and Gaza Strip will be like more smaller. We don't know, and this is actually what we are trying to do right now.
And Mohammed, you know, how is your family? Are you still with your family where you are?
Yes, Alhamdulillah. Until now, I'm still with my family. Like we are trying to stay together all the time. Sometimes my sister lives with us, and other times she go to stay with her husband's family. So like from time to time, sometimes with us and sometimes we're there. But in general, we are trying to stay all together in the same place.
That's really important. Yeah. Yeah. So Chris, do you have any comments?
No, they just it seems to be a complete withdrawal by the great powers to try and reach some kind of amnesty or cessation, but Israel seems to be given a free hand by the international community, and it's difficult to read what Trump is all about in terms of the Gaza conflict. So I haven't seen anything in the press, in the news that says that things have changed. And from what Mohammed's saying, things don't seem to have changed at all. Are you seeing any signs that things might stop being so difficult for you?
No, because he's saying like he went to the bakery and there was no bread, and so all the indications from what they see is that it's going to carry on like this for quite a while. That's what Mohammed is saying. Emma, do you have any comments? Sorry.
It just just thanks Mohammed for sharing what's going on there at the minute. It sounds quite an awful situation, and so yeah, thanks for sharing. I'm just wondering, can you access, like, if anyone gets ill and that, can you access hospitals and healthcare, or is that very difficult for people at the minute, and yourself?
For a small example about the hospital and the situation there's many, I can say, small clinics that used to make dressing for injured people. They stopped making the dressing because simply they don't have the equipment for that. The simple equipment, they don't even have it. So this is affect very badly on people, and this is just a small example. So you can imagine about other examples like paracetamol or the trufen. This medicine that some people use them to for their pain. They cannot relieve that.
Last week when Farah was talking about working and people working remotely, how because there's the situation, even when people are working remotely, there's a difficult situation in terms of getting payment available to them. I was wondering how Farah manages to overcome that. Do you know, Mohammed? Do you know how people, if they do work virtually on the internet, how is it that they're able to be paid? Because the banking system is crashed as well, isn't it?
Yes, actually, it used to be we used to have like many methods for giving for the payment, but I don't know actually right now in the war how they are working. Because, for example, the Western Union, it's not affected, it's not working as before. It's not easy to find a place to have it, and our bank, we have only like one bank right now in Gaza. The other is not working. They work, but not that good. Only one bank because it's like international bank. It's called Bank of Palestine. Some people they can get their money from through their accounts on this bank, but in the end, not all of the people have this chance. So they are trying to use another ways, and not all these ways are effective or working, especially right now with the.
Okay, so what is it that you're focusing on now in terms of, staying optimistic? I know it's very, very hard, but what do you do to remain resourceful and, to try and overcome all of these very harsh challenges? What is it? What's keeping you focused on the positive rather than the negative?
For me, actually, I don't watch news all the time. Like I used to watch the news 24 hours in every day. But nowadays, I try just don't watch the news, don't watch the videos of the murders people because this affect very bad on me. I'm trying, for example, not to read the news of any hostage, a Palestinian hostage who came out from the Zionist Israeli Nazis, just because they have a very terrible and horrible stories about how they are the Zionist army, how they deal with them. I used to watch the and read their stories, but not anymore because it's very bad. Like when I read the story, I have to imagine it in my mind, and it will be very very bad. The way they are dealing with trying also to focus in anything except the war. For example, maybe watch some videos on YouTube if I had a good internet. Sometimes I search for jobs, for example, with ICRC or UN organizations. So, like, just to be focused on something understandable or something make me away from reading and know about the war, about the situation right now in Gaza. This helped a little bit, but in the end, I still living in Gaza, still hearing the planes F-16, the bombing. So I still in Gaza, still having the situation, but something trying from my side to just to be optimistic a little bit, just not reading and not living the horrible situation all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Any comments, Emma, Chris?
Yeah, I think that's very rational and a healthy thing to do is try and distract yourself away from concentrating on the war all the time and look for other avenues and windows to look out of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Emma.
Yeah, so I mean, it sounds as if as well you've moved around a lot, different places, and that's very, so I think you're doing well to sort of just, stay, keep up with it all and the change and everything like that. I mean, what's the aid like? Is that going in? Are you hungry? Are you struggling for food? Is that because you said earlier the place didn't have bread? Is that all food, or is that just like that?
In general, the all food because it's like the school in English. Like there is because like right now the Israeli army is controlling everything come inside Gaza. So right now they are closing everything. So anything they will need their permission to come inside Gaza. So sometimes make, for example, they accepting for 110 vans or trucks, and other days they are not allowed for anything. So as they controlling everything, they simply control the food in Gaza. So right now they are like more than 2 months or almost 2 months until now. They are not allowed for anything to come inside to come to Gaza, except just a few things. This is, for example, just for showing the camera or the media that we are allowing for this to come inside Gaza, but in the end they are not allowed. Or for example, last time they allowed for some trucks to come to inside to north of Gaza, and when the trucks arrived the north, and then after that the Israeli army attacking that trucks and destroyed the food inside it, everything. And actually, some of the soldiers they record this on their social media accounts while they are destroying the food.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
stories like that. Well, hello there, Yazan. Yazan is here now.
Hello.
Hello,
How are you
yeah.
all?
Good, good,
I'm
Yazan.
sorry
How
for
are
being
you? We can't see you yet. Oh, there you go.
late.
How are you, Yazan?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just I just want to tell you, like, I'm sorry because I'm late today.
That's fine. That's fine, Yazan. We're thinking of going back to the original time next week because Farah is not here, and we changed it so that Farah could join us. But the original time, 7:30 UK time, seems to be more convenient for everyone. So from next week, we'll go back to that other time. But
Yeah,
how
that sounds great.
how are things with you, Yazan? Because things in Gaza obviously are still very, very bad. But for you in Egypt, how does how is everything looking for you?
Like for the time, for 9 p.m., it's okay. Yeah, so that it's better than that.
Yeah, okay. But in terms of like what's been happening over the last week, Mohammed was just talking about how the food shortages, it's still very, very bad, like with the food shortage. And I know that in Egypt, there are people who want to help and to support, and they're being blocked from helping. So what do things look like for you?
Okay, actually now we are like seeing the starvation or the starvation of the people in Gaza without without being able to do anything to them, because they are surrounded from everywhere, from the beach, from the Rafah crossing, which is between Gaza and Egypt, and the other side is between Gaza and the Israeli occupation. So they are all surrounded from all from all sides. So as you see or as you hear, there's like a lot of starvation. There's lack of the food essential supplies. Like there's no food, there's no flour, there is no bread or anything from the essential things in Gaza, and there's like barely 2 or 3 trucks like enters Gaza every day, maybe, I guess, and that's not enough. And um, like the Israeli army or the Israeli soldiers, you can say they protect uh, the smaller groups who are aiming to steal these trucks. So almost like more than half the trucks are stealed inside Gaza. So the needy people, they can't get any of these food or these items. So that is the worst situation in Gaza right now, because it's hitting in the south and in the north. It's the same. They're all suffering. So here in Egypt, there's a lot of food trucks are stuck and it can't go to Gaza. Like that's happening from, like, we can say 7 months or 6 months now, because the Rafah boarding is closing or is closed, and the only way to get these food trucks into Gaza is through the Israeli occupation, through the crossings between Gaza and the Israeli occupation. So they are controlling these crossings, and they're like not making it easy for the people to get essential food or supplies.
Yes, and so for people who are trapped in Gaza, because like when we have wars like in Syria, Afghanistan, people want to leave the country. People, like there are refugees, but with Gaza, it's as though people have been locked into that area. That's something different. It's like there's no way for them to leave either, is there?
Yeah, of course. Actually, that's the worst thing, and that's the major difference between Gaza and anywhere else in the world have suffered from wars or genocides. So, talking about Gaza, as I said, it's surrounded from everywhere. The Israeli occupation had entered Gaza since more than a year now. So since the army entered Gaza, they surrounded Gaza from everywhere. Also, it was already surrounded, but now Gaza is almost 360 kilometers only. So it's so tiny, and now it's being even more tiny. And they have split Gaza or split it to maybe 2 or to 3 areas. So people from the south can go to the north, or the north can go to the south. So and the other side is the beach or the sea, Mediterranean. So the Mediterranean is full of, like you can say, army boats for the Israeli army. So they are targeting anybody. That was like since many years. It's not only for this war. So like you can say, the fishermen, they have suffered since like ages from these things, because they were not allowed to fish till like few miles. They just put them a limit. They limit the miles they can fish into. So that was like since you can say 2005. So they limited it by 9 miles. So they can get more than that. So even fishing is so hard for them. And now, because we are in this war, there's no fishing at all, or almost we can say it's only 1 to 3% of the normal fishing in Gaza. So even for escaping, people cannot escape. They are surrounded from everywhere. Either you go to death, either you go to the sea, and you will be you will die there in the sea, or what else we can do? Just like they're not giving them food, they're just surrounding them, and they're just putting them in. Actually, Gaza is known as the hugest or the largest open air prison in the world. That was before the war. Can you imagine that? So now we are in war, and we are or Gaza was separated, and Gaza was damaged completely. You can say the buildings that are able to be like, or the people can live in these buildings are so tiny, or so little, the amount of buildings. So like maybe more than 70% of the buildings were damaged completely. The others are damaged partly. So people living in the worst condition ever. They're not finding any place to live. Either they live in a tent or just stay in the streets. They can't find anything to eat. There's no flour. There's no clean water. Also, there's no any life essentials, and they're not allowed to leave. So they are they are forced to be in Gaza, and they're forced to be starving. So that's the situation now.
I suppose that's what makes it a genocide, because it's yeah, there is no safe place, and there's no outlet to safety either, is there?
Yeah, exactly. Okay,
Emma, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just yeah, thanks for sharing all that. It's quite striking, really. And I was saying earlier, there was a news section here in England showing a doctor who had been out in Gaza, and he gave evidence saying that a drone came and saw a child was ill and injured on the floor and shot at the child. I was wondering if if there's a lot of drones going on, action, and what is that like? Is there a lot of fear with the drone situation?
Yeah, sure. Okay, actually, the drones is like everywhere in Gaza. They are targeting anything that can move. Like, we have the airplanes, we have helicopters, we have also the drones, these small drones. They are using it in the worst way ever. They are like, maybe they use it to throw, you can say, pieces of paper written to like evacuate this place, even though people are refugees in a school, a school. So it's that is so unhumanitarian. So after they threw these pieces of paper, they threw bombs and grenades and whatever, and they are using it like every drone. It's like a multitasking drone, so it can throw things, it can through bombs or small airstrikes, we can say. And also it has a machine guns. So for example, like the flour is the main thing to eat in Gaza to make bread. All the amount of flour it come from south in Gaza, which is Rafah. So Rafah now is empty of people. So when people need to get that flour to buy it in a very high price, they go to Rafah, which is a dangerous area. Okay, so these drones just like target them like a PUBG game or a Fortnite. So they're just like selecting people from the air and just targeting them. Anyone wants to get to his home, for example, people are refugees in Mosque Khan Yunis, for example. It's an area they call it safe, but it's not safe at all. But it's crowded of refugees. So when these refugees want to go back to their home, not to stay at their home, just to get like some necessary things. Some of them want to get like clothing for the winter. They want to get anything necessary for them. So or through their journey to their house, they are being targeted and killed on the streets. And actually, because there's no an ambulance or even any NGO in this world, or any organization, international organization such as any organization in this world can't help these people in these areas. So for example, if anyone got injured or got killed in these areas, he will be like there to be eaten by the dogs and cats. That is the worst thing anybody can imagine. And it doesn't happen like once or twice. It happens everywhere and every time. It's continuous and still going on this genocide. So the Israeli army is not just doing this. It's like having fun in killing civilians. You know, they're using the worst ways to kill civilians, like starvation and killing them by these drones. And talking about the flour coming from Rafah, so they are supporting the armed groups. Like there are armed groups. They are supporting them to steal the flour. So they want us to kill each other, even by robbers and stealers. So these groups are armed and they kill people, and they steal all the food and sell it for like a huge amount of money, and nobody can get it. And as I said, if anybody wants to get flour, he or she should go or have to go to that place which is not safe.
Yeah. Chris, any comments?
No, it's horrific. Yeah, I wanted to ask just this idea of people being trapped within Gaza. I mean, is there an Israeli point of view that they would welcome people leaving Gaza so that their settlers could then come and take their land and homes? Would that be a movement within Israel?
Actually, that thing is a little bit controversial, because like people in Gaza, they are connected to their land. So of course they want to survive the war, but at the same time, they don't want to give their land like for the Israeli settlers after they have faced all these bad conditions. Like for example, like people in South Africa or Pakistan, India, anywhere, or Ireland, they fight for their freedom. So okay, they provide their souls, their blood, their they have like their resilience and their resistance, and after that they get like a reward at the end, which is their freedom. So in Gaza, people like have been giving like giving their blood, giving their souls, their everything, their time, their years, and without getting anything at the end. So they want their freedom at least. Okay, so if we like said they're not getting their freedom, they're not allowed to leave, just to live with their souls. They're not allowed. So the Israeli what they do want from the Gazan people. They want to kill them. They want to leave. Okay, if you want them to leave, just open the crossing. Let them leave. They're not allowing them to leave or to stay. So what people can do at that situation?
Yeah.
Mohammed has his hand raised.
Actually, I remember my cousin Siraj, Allah yarham, who was murdered in first day of August. He used to tell his mother that I don't wanna leave my home, my land, as my grandparents did in Nakba in 1948. Don't wanna do this mistake again, and I wanna stay in my country, in my land, in my home. And recently, as I mentioned before, he was murdered in his apartment, in his home, in his land, in first of August, like 3 months ago.
Yeah, that's the thing, you see. It's like, you know, yes, we understand like the love of the land, and but it's a choice of life or death, and sometimes we have to escape. But in Gaza, they're not allowing people to escape. Like Yazan said, it's like there is no safety inside, and there's no safety to leave either. Emma, do you have any other comments about this?
Yeah, it's just thanks so much for sharing. You know, I can't imagine what you're going through. You know, like you said earlier, Yazan, about the whatever flour there is, it's been taken, it's been stolen and then sold at higher prices. So are you finding that, Mohammed, that there's more friction amongst your own community as well now, that you're almost trying to survive each other, and there's a lot of fear amongst your own, you know, but your own neighbours even?
Okay, so for me, I live in Egypt now. I have evacuated Gaza, but Muhammad, he's my cousin, and he's still there in Gaza. And like, I have all my friends and my family there. So we are overseeing the situation in Gaza, and we are like just viewing it, and like just seeing the updates, what is going on right now. So that is the current situation. And actually, I really want to thank you about your questions and your interest to know more, and that is the point. Unless we can't help the needy people or the people being in a genocide, at least we should, or we have to get to know more about them, about what they are facing, and just to know what is the truth and what is the other propaganda that they are willing or paying for it to just be published and be to make the world believe in this propaganda. So I hope like you are with us in all the upcoming sessions, and to get more knowledge about this. And that's it. If any question, like, you can ask us, any of us, always. It's okay. So that was about the flour in Gaza. So it's hard to get it. It's like barely, it's impossible to get flour at these days. And if you get, like, you'll get just a little bit, it can't feed a family. And if it can, like, it will like just temporary, like for what, for a month, for 2 months. After that, what we can do? So the people in Gaza, or the parents, like you can say the parents of the family especially, they can't quit thinking about the future. Not the future like 10 years or whatever. It's like 1 month or 2 weeks, 1 week, what I'm going to feed my children. So every mother think that thing. Okay, so the father, for example, think like, how can we get gas to cook? So gas is so rare now in Gaza. So most of people, they cook on like fire. They make fire and cook on this. Even like collecting wood is hard, and is like it's making overthinking for the people, like well, I can get wood to make food or not. So every single detail, it's like a suffering for them.
Yeah, it is. And I suppose just, you know, being just being prepared to listen to what's going on, I suppose, is something, you know. It's like bearing witness, you know, like we see what's happening. Mohammed, do you have anything more to say? Otherwise, we will close the session for now, Mohammed, and next week we will meet at our normal time. Any last remarks, Mohammed?
I'm really thankful that you are here, guys, to know more about our suffering, about the genocide, about our details in this suffering. And this is actually I'm really grateful for this opportunity. And inshallah, in our next sessions, we will still talking about what's here right now, what's happening right now for us in Gaza Strip.
Okay, everyone. So see you at 7:30, the normal time next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, inshallah. Okay. All right,
Take
everyone.
care.
Okay.
Bye.
Yes, everyone.
Bye.
Be safe.
Bye.
Bye for now. Bye-bye. Bye.